A deceptive tranquility prevails over Tehran, but behind this silence builds layers of fire coming from the Far East. Shipments known as Dragon Shield are moving, and from far north, metal containers are rumored to carry the Tsar's hammer arrive. These are not just defensive weapons, but systems designed specifically to neutralize any sudden Israeli strike. Night drills, unusual redeployments, and quietly formed new units around Iran's nuclear facilities, protected by an unprecedented defensive parachute, coordinated by Moscow in the north and backed by Beijing in the east. It sends silent messages to Netanyahu, and its meaning is clear. Don't approach Iran. What is the true story behind the missile wall that Tehran is silently building? And why is Tel Aviv watching it with increasing concern, as if every bomber had a message addressed to Israel itself? Stay with us until the end, because what we will reveal in this episode is a detailed analysis of what Tehran hides among each missile battery and its next, the Tsar Hammer, S-400 Triumph. In the world of air defense, the S-400 Triumph is known as the Tsar Hammer, a Russian-made force that Iran has sought for years and is considered the crown jewel of Russian defense industries, having proven effective in protecting Russian borders near Ukrainian conflict zones. Western reports and multiple leaks indicate that Tehran successfully introduced the first batch of S-400 systems into the country in early 2005, believed to have deployed its first to Kashan Air Base north of Isfahan, an area known for its drone activity and long-range weapons tests. At the heart of this system lies the 99EN6E, 92N6E, with a detection range of 600 kilometers, capable of tracking more than 300 targets simultaneously, including stealth aircraft and ballistic missiles. The system uses 40N6E, 40N6E missiles for long-range clashes up to 400 kilometers, while 48N6DM and 9M96E2, 9M96E2 missiles counter shorter-range and lower-altitude threats such as cruise missiles and drones. The system can engage with 36 targets simultaneously, using 72 guided missiles in parallel. However, Iran does not rely on a single defensive layer, as the Tsar Hammer forms the upper dome of a more complex network, branching into medium and short-range systems designed to complement the work of the S-400 and closing any loophole that might be exploited by a hostile flight or missile. One of the most notable of these systems is the Buk M3, known among some officers as the Rocket Hunter. It can engage with air targets over a range of up to 70 kilometers at speeds exceeding Mach 5, while its active guided radar enables synchronized engagement with 6 targets, even under heavy electronic jamming. Reports indicate that several units of the Buk M3 have already been deployed near sensitive facilities, including missile complexes in Semnan and command posts in Yazd. Alongside these systems are the Tor M2 short-range systems, known for their speed and permanent readiness to protect sensitive points. The Tor M2 system can detect targets within a range of 32 kilometers, fire its vertical-launched missiles in less than 3 seconds, and destroy targets flying at an altitude as low as 10 meters, the preferred altitude of suicide drones and low-print cruise missiles. These systems are not deployed independently, but are connected through a standardized process matrix, where each layer overlaps with the other, turning the sky into a correlated fire grid. The Tsar's Hammer follows from far away, Buk M3 closes on medium-range threats, and Tor M2 cleans the sky from any goal that sneaks in at the last minute. The presence of these systems in Iran not only changes the rules of air engagement, but also establishes an entirely new deterrence equation, written in radar and radio silence, and neatly understood within Israel's war rooms. A lightning strike is no longer guaranteed. Dragon Shield, Chinese dome, protects Iran. Iran was not content with the Russian hammer alone. As the world was busy following defense shipments from Moscow to Tehran, new containers appeared at the ports of Bandar Abbas and Chabahar, bearing no Russian markings but Chinese symbols and camouflaged military codes, and export records belonging to front companies linked to Norinco and Kask. He did not reach the shore. Not offensive weapons or aircraft pieces, but air defense systems that Western intelligence services call the Dragon Shield. The first of these systems is HQ-9B, an advanced Chinese development of the Russian S-300 system, updated with unique technologies that enable it to engage targets up to a range of 250 kilometers, tracking stealth aircraft and cruise missiles, even in complex cyber warfare. The system relies on ISA 3D radars and a secure field data network, making it compatible with Iran's multi-source air defense network that is gradually expanding. The second system, HQ-22, known as the Flexible Shield, features high mobility and low operational cost compared to heavy platforms. Its engagement range is 170 kilometers, and it excels in intercepting medium and low-flying aircraft and drones, even in the mid- and low-altitude jamming or disconnection. What distinguishes these Chinese systems is not only their efficiency, but their customizability. Statistics indicate that Beijing has provided Iran with near-open command and control software, allowing Iranian engineers to connect it to the National Early Warning Network, a development that analysis says has deeply alarmed Tel Aviv. Satellite images from U.S. research centers showed HQ-9B systems deployed east of Tehran, near nuclear facilities and command centers believed to be underground fortified, while HQ-22 batteries were spotted in mobile formations across the southwest, protecting fuel facilities and coastal radar sites. With this arrangement, the construction of Iranian air defense no longer relies on a single source or centralized system that can be disabled by a single strike, but has become a partially distributed and fully visible multinational network only to its engineers. While Israel bets on a preemptive strike, Iran is betting on something completely different. The road to its skies will not open again. But there's a dark side to the last line of defense. Even the top of the walls can be penetrated from the inside. Despite the diversity of these systems and their different sources and the integration of their leadership network, this very diversity may turn into a critical vulnerability. Not because the systems are flawed, but because they were not originally designed to work together. Russian platforms such as the S-400, and the Buk M3 rely on closed communication protocols, some of which are encrypted by keys issued exclusively by Moscow. In contrast, Chinese systems such as HQ-9B operate within completely different command frameworks, and fire control doctrines do not fully match the Russian structure. To integrate these systems, Iran has created a technical interface that combines them. But in the event of a multi-pronged attack, a wave of drones followed by cruise missiles ending in an Israeli airstrike could show conflicting targets' priorities or delays in data transmission, particularly in locations that rely on remote command posts or mobile field stations. More seriously, some of these systems have not actually been tested in conditions of real warfare. For example, HQ-22 has yet to encounter stealth aircraft or advanced electronic jamming. Towards the HQ-22 system, analysts assert that the HQ-9B version acquired by Iran is an export version that is reduced in capabilities compared to the original Chinese version, especially in terms of hypersonic missile resistance and intercept accuracy. On the Russian side, a bigger question remains: the following. What if Moscow's geopolitical stance changes? Does Russia retain digital keys or backcodes, enabling it to remotely disable these systems? Can Iran modernize and maintain it without relying entirely on Russian or Chinese experts? In many configurations, even software updates require exclusive access codes, not sold, but managed directly by manufacturers. Above all, Israel, a country whose air doctrine is built on intelligent penetration. They do not attack from the front door, but from blind spots, short time gaps, electronic bait, and proactive cyber attacks. Systems such as the S-400 can be blinded for a few seconds if tracking frequencies are jammed or tricked with fake aircraft, while Torum-2, after firing 8 missiles, needs to be re-indoctrinated, a short window that can be exploited in an intense saturation attack. Yes, Iran's skies today are stronger than ever, but power alone is not enough for an opponent who mastered the art of testing ceilings before hitting walls. In Tehran today, the question is no longer when Israel will attack, but can this multi-layered shield actually hold up when the fire rains from every direction? Share your opinion on the comments. And do not forget to support the episode by admiring and signing up to follow all that is coming.